Welcome back.
Welcome back.
And welcome back.
Welcome back to NHSTV Pregame.
I'm your host, Brian Gagliard.
And I'm Anthony Conidi.
Sports media has been a staple in Norwood sports for decades on end, with Norwood Community Media providing Norwood with the top sports coverage possible. In 2023, 2 NHSTV students used the production technology to create their very own sports show.
All right, let's get this party started.
This is the story of NHSTV Pregame.
So the story of NHSTV Pregame, I was towards the end of my freshman year, and I already completed basically TV 1, and I was very interested in TV. I always wanted to go to college for it, and I didn't have the greatest JV hockey season, and I knew I didn't really want to come back and play. I knew I was kind of just done with sports. So I was sitting in Miss Quinn's room 228, after a math test, and I was just going through NCM's old football games, and I realized that they don't have like a way to just flow right into the games, like they just cut right to it. So I just came up with a pregame show. I didn't know what the name would be yet, and I didn't know how to propose it, but I just had this idea to create a pregame sports show that can help NCM flow through the game, but also teach me everything I know about media. And then I contacted Anthony.
Yeah, I remember like it was yesterday, walking up these steps to on the last day of school to go pitch the idea for pregame. But when Brian asked me, I was a little skeptical at the start. I didn't really know what we were getting into. I didn't know if I was gonna, have the time to do all this work. And, we made it work. I said yes, because something I really wanted to do. We talked to Schnat. Everything went well. Talked to Mr. Tolman. And then in that summer, we got rolling. And then from then on, we took off. And we're far from finished, though.
So we proposed the show June 21st, 2023. Me and Anthony walked into Miss Natalie's classroom and proposed it to Miss Natalie and Mr. Tolman. And they were fully supportive. And I think that was a huge thing to have, because we knew what we wanted, but we didn't really have much confidence in it going through. And them just saying, yes, go for it, and we're here to help, was huge for the both of us. So once we proposed the show, it was right on the road since then, and the summer leading up to it was a pretty intense one.
So the day that Brian came to me and asked that we talk about developing this show, I forget if it was already called Pregame at that time, but maybe. As a freshman, normally I don't know, like sure, but I figured, okay, well, I'll entertain this, why not? Because there are, in the TV program, in TV One especially, there are, well, I think Brian now sets that apart. There are 3 different types of students. There are the students who are just there because they think it's an easy or fun class. Then there are the students who think that maybe this could be a pathway for them. Or there are the kids who know this is a pathway for them. Those are fewer and farther between, but Brian was definitely one of those, the third group, where when he came and said, can we talk about this pregame thing, I knew that it was going to be, a good conversation and a worthwhile conversation, even as a freshman, because he had been showing a lot of interest, had already said to me multiple times that this was what he was going to do with his life, and was putting in the effort by showing up after school hours to help other students produce things like Update After Dark and Mustang Magazine and the Nemmies and things like that. So I knew he was all in on that. So when he brought up the idea of starting up his own show, I didn't hesitate to say, yeah, I'll entertain that conversation.
I thought it showed a lot of initiative. I thought we had some students here who really wanted to do more more work inside the classroom and outside of the classroom. So I thought it showed a little bit of initiative and a little bit of fire, and they wanted to learn more about video production.
With a new show on the horizon, challenges were bound to happen.
So some of the challenges that we faced in the summer building up to it was just trying to create the show as best as we could because we didn't really know too much. We knew kind of how to edit a little bit. We knew kind of how to create graphics just a little bit. So we were both very still beginner. And it was the summertime, so Miss Natalie was doing her plays up in New Hampshire. And one of the big factors of it actually was getting Anthony fully on board with doing the show because he's still a two-sport athlete. So getting him fully convinced and on ship with the show was one of the difficulties. And I think he'll talk about it, but it was a difficult time to try to get Anthony to fully go through with it.
Instantly I thought, wow, this is going to be a lot of work because they're freshmen and they're going to need a lot of hand-holding and advising, and how do I help them be capable of doing a lot of this on their own, because I knew that I didn't have the bandwidth for it. But we also have this awesome partnership with NCM, so that's why I reeled, maybe Brian did, I can't remember who coordinated it, but that we made sure that NCM was involved as well, because it was going to be something that students with a limited education on this thus far were going to be trying to tackle on their own. So we instantly had NCM on board. But again, I go back to the fact that he had already indicated that this was a lifelong interest, that he was going to be doing this as his career and he was going to go to school for this later, and that he had been showing that devotion and dedication and skill already. So other freshmen would have been a whole different story, but it's because of who Brian and Anthony are that made it work out even as freshmen.
All right, so my relationship with Brian is very, when we're in the business setting, we kind of forget about our friendship. We battle it out days leading up. It's the stress, the calls from Brian at 2 in the morning on a Thursday when we're going live on Friday at 5. Oh, did you do this? Did you do that? That's the stressful part, but then it all pays off. So there's some things that I would say are obstacles that you gotta get over, but when you're with someone like Brian and you know that you're gonna put on a good show, then there's not really much to worry about.
I think another challenge that's all part of life is that I think this pregame team has a lot of passion and interest and desire and wanting to produce and keep doing things and building on this brand now, and I think that's awesome. But it's helping them. They are still high school students, so helping them manage their time for mental health purposes, for keeping up good grades, and not letting pregame take over and create any kind of like mental health challenges, just because people shouldn't be up all night long editing things at this age. So it's an age thing, and because of where they are in their lives, that I want to make sure that I can help them manage through hitting their own deadlines, but then managing expectations for themselves as well.
Despite being only freshmen, they still managed to air their first couple of shows in the beginning of their sophomore year.
So when we launched the show in October 5th, 2023, so late 2023, we did one show before, kind of like a trial show, but nobody has any recording of it. Something happened in the truck. So the first show we did was October 5th, 2023. It was a pink out. I remember it. It was a good day. I was super proud with it, the way the first show came out. Great guests. We had a lot of fun. The clips were funny too. So yeah, that first season from October to November of 2023 was kind of like the first time of us really trying to go into the idea of pregame.
Overcoming the challenges, success was achievable as Brian and Anthony now have a stable show in Norwood.
I think when we really took off was when we launched our Instagram at NHSTV Pregame. When we launched that, that's when it really kicked off, and where pregame really started becoming like a popular show at Norwood?
The biggest success is that 2 freshmen came to me and said they wanted to do something, and then with not a whole lot of hand-holding, did it and have repeated it and have built on that model, and they are the success story, that they have made it happen and have been professional and mature and have coordinated with Norwood Community Media to have it work, and have been producing awesome quality content for NHSTV and for NCM. I just think the biggest success is just themselves. They are a success story.
Ms. Schnatterly has been a huge help also. I think her personality in the classroom really brings out how fun TV can be. And she's been super supportive of us. It's great now that the show's established that she just kind of lets us do what we want. And I think that's really good because me and Anthony at the end of the day were just a bunch of knuckleheads who were having fun. So the ability to create whatever we want, whatever comes to our minds is really great. And I'm extremely happy that Ms. Schnatterly has our back through and through.
Actually, I think both of them it's very special. There hasn't been, I've been here a while, and there really hasn't been 2 students who have really taken advantage of what we offer here in the studio and out in the field as much as Brian and Anthony. They have a vision, they enjoy what they do, and they're real special. I think it's a unique thing that I'm proud to be part of it. I'm proud to see the growth. And it's really cool to see how much they've come, and it's exciting to see where they're going to go.
Yeah, so NCM has been a huge help and a huge partner to the school department for years now. And it was just another step for Mr. Tolman in helping me. And he's been a great mentor for me throughout all these years. NCM has taught me in front of the camera, behind the camera, production, pre-editing, script writing, post-edit production, and just kind of everything I need to know. So they've been great, and Mr. Tolman's he's a great guy. He's a true Mustang, and this show would be nowhere near what it is without him, so he's been a huge help.
I think my favorite thing of helping them learn and develop as young video producers is how important it is to pre-plan your pre-production. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? What questions are you going to ask? Is the guest going to be there on time? There's a lot that goes into a live program, script, everything. So really, once the show starts, it can kind of be a little bit easier. You just go with it. But all the hours and pre-planning and meetings to pull off the show, the pre-planning is really the most important.
Yeah, my favorite part of pregame, I think, has been making friends with people that I wouldn't really expect to be friendly with just by doing interviews or having clips. So I think meeting new people is great, and personally and professionally. So yeah, I've met a lot of great people along the way and been friends with people I never expected that I'd ever be friends with.
You know, friends of ours are very excited, you know, when the fall season comes. You know, we have friends on the football team, friends on multiple different teams, soccer, you name it. So when we go live and we get to showcase what they're doing that some people might not see, that's what I think is really awesome and how it has a lasting impact on the school.
20,
Come on in, buddy.
Norwood's going to win 24-10.
24-10. Come on, get in here.
Oh.
What's your score prediction?
32-24.
Ooh.
Norwood?
Yeah.
Norwood's going to win? Awesome.
Another one of my favorite parts of pregame is the clips that we produce.
All right, we're back with another challenge. This time it's winter season. $200 for a half-court shot. Brian Gagliard's $200 half-court shot. All you have to do is pretty simple. You take the ball, you can't go past the line, and you just huck it.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Go! Outside! Go, here we go! Run, give me back! Run! Okay, let me hear it!
So, my goal for today is to find some interviews and have some fun. Let's get to it. All right, here goes nothing. Today I'm practicing with the girls' basketball team. I don't know how this is gonna go. All right, this is mad confusing. Oh my God, I should stick to TV.
Me trying sports is always funny. I love to make people laugh, so I think having that comedic side of pregame is always great. So when I'm trying a sport, whether we're giving money away, doing a kick, whether we're doing man on the street, just walking around asking questions, I think that's my favorite part because I think it keeps up with the comedic side of pregame, and that's what we want. So yeah, that's extremely important.
Yeah, say that, yo.
I think the mission statement for pregame is give love to all the sports because they equally deserve it. All of these sports work just as hard as football, basketball, hockey, and baseball, which are the kind of like the four main sports. So with all of those sports who aren't in the big four picture, they still put in a lot of work, and I think showcasing their abilities and what they do is extremely important to me, but also kind of what we want to come out of the show. Yeah, so I think just equal love because everybody deserves the hard work that they put in, and it shouldn't go unnoticed across Norwood sports, so yeah.
So I would say pregame is just not something that like we just threw together because we just want to do some extracurricular thing, but it's something that Brian and I are both very passionate about and put a lot of effort into, and I think things like that won't go unnoticed in the future. We have one more year to put out amazing content for one last year.
Yeah, senior year. Senior year should be something. I'm extremely excited for pregame in the senior season because it's the final show. It's the final season. So I said this last year and I'll say it again, bigger and better than ever, and it will be bigger and better than ever. And as Billy Tibbetts once said, it's the best show in the world. And we'll do the best show in the world, and we'll do what we can with what we have. And what we have is a lot. And I'm extremely proud, and just let's get this party started, right?
Through all the hard work and ups and downs, NHSTV Pregame has stapled itself in Norwood High as Norwood's premier pregame sports show. For Mustang Media, I'm Sam Larkee.